Okay, so as I'm doing this video, you're probably going to hear a bunch of noises in the background. That's coming from outside. So, it's the 4th, fireworks, all that stuff. And I hope that's all that's going on out there. Hopefully, there's no shooting or nothing like that. But anyway, so let's get to it. And as I break down these policies, I just can't help but think to myself, it's sad that we're living in 2025 and you have people that don't understand it or they're still opposed to it but yet claim they have morals. To me, the whole thing is ridiculous. And maybe I'm just being arrogant and narcissistic and dense, whatever. I don't know. But check it out. So we're talking about Tim Walz, Democratic governor of Minnesota. Ignore that. So here's the things that he accomplished. And by the way, this is just part of it, but these are some of my favorites. So he did free school meals for kids, legal marijuana, tax rebates for the working class up to $1,300 if the family makes under $150,000 a year, 12 weeks paid family leave, 12 weeks paid sick leave, public free college if you make under $80,000 a year. He banned PFAs, which is forever chemicals, $2 billion increase in K-12 school funding, collective bargaining for nursing home workers. So here's what all those things mean, and here's what their benefits are. So number one, on free school meals for kids. So what it means, all public school students in Minnesota receive free breakfast and lunch regardless of family income. The benefits are it reduces child hunger and food insecurity. It saves families hundreds to thousands of dollars annually. It helps students focus and perform better academically. It removes stigma for low-income students who used to get free meals separately. Number two, legal marijuana. Not necessarily my personal favorite one, but again, for all the marijuana smokers out there and the people who championed it, this one's for you. What it means: Minnesota legalized adult use recreational marijuana, regulating it like alcohol. The benefits are it decriminalizes marijuana possession and reduces incarceration for nonviolent offenses. It generates new tax revenue for the state. It creates jobs in cannabis agriculture, retail, and distribution. It opens opportunities for expungement of prior marijuana related convictions. And that's something that should be in the National Democratic Platform. That's part of one out of 20 to 25 ideas and policies that they should jump on. I'm going to do a separate video talking about that. I think that video is going to be longer. Number three, tax rebates for the working class up to $1,300 if the family makes under $150,000 a year. So a one-time tax rebate. So what it means, one-time tax rebate checks for individuals and families. $260 per adult and child, up to 100. I'm sorry, I can't read right now and I can't talk right now. What the hell's going on with me? Up to $1,300 total per family. Available for those making less than $75,000 individually or $150,000 jointly. And that's annually. The benefits are it provides direct cash relief to help with inflation and rising costs. It targets low income and middle income families, not the wealthy, because why give it to the wealthy? If you're wealthy, you're not struggling. You're not struggling financially if you're that wealthy. You're not worried about gas prices. You're not worried about grocery prices or anything like that. Anybody that tries to tell me otherwise, get out of here with that mess. If you think there's a such thing as a struggling billionaire, please show me the evidence of that. I'll gladly do a video admitting that I'm wrong on that, but I've yet to see that. It stimulates local economies by boosting consumer spending. Number four, 12 weeks paid family leave. What it means is that workers can take 12 weeks off with pay to care for a newborn, a newly adopted child, a sick family member, or recover from their own serious health condition related to family care. The benefits include it supports work-life balance and strong families. It helps new parents bond with children and recover from childbirth. It helps reduce stress for caregivers. It helps women stay in the workforce and promotes gender equality. Number five, 12 weeks paid sick leave. It means that workers can take up to 12 weeks of paid time off if they are seriously ill, need recovery time, and or have surgery or a medical emergency. The benefits include it protects workers from losing income or jobs when they're too sick to work. It encourages sick people to stay home and reduce disease spread. It boosts productivity and loyalty among employees. It benefits small businesses by creating a shared insurance style program funded statewide. Number six, definitely one of my favorites, public free college if you make under 80K a year. What it means is that Minnesota offers free tuition at public colleges for students from families earning less than 80,000 per year. The benefits are it makes college accessible and affordable for working class families. It reduces student debt burdens. It helps fill workforce shortages in fields like teaching, healthcare, and trades. And it promotes economic mobility for young people. This one right here, again, not necessarily one of my favorites, but this is for the environmentalist group. So this is for you. Uh, he banned PFAs, which is forever chemicals. Now, PFA is an impossibly long word that's near impossible to pronounce. It's Minnesota banned the use of PFAs, which is polyfluoroalkyl substances. Again, who makes up these words? PFAs. In most consumer products. These are toxic forever chemicals found in things like nonstick cookware, food packaging, and water-resistant clothing. The benefits include it reduces exposure to cancer-causing and hormone-disrupting chemicals, it protects drinking water, it protects public health, and it sets a precedent for stronger environmental and health standards nationwide. Number 8, $2.2 billion increase in K-12 school funding. What it means is that Minnesota invested $2.2 billion more into public schools, including teacher pay, classroom resources, student mental health, and special education. The benefits include it reduces class sizes and improves student-to-teacher ratios. It helps retain and recruit teachers with better pay and support. It invests in school safety and mental health services, and it improves education outcomes and equity for all children, especially in undeserved communities. Number 9, sectoral bargaining for nursing home workers. So sectoral bargaining is the same thing as collective bargaining. What it means is instead of negotiating at individual facilities, nursing home workers can now negotiate wages and standards across the entire industry. The benefits include it ensures higher, more consistent wages across facilities. It improves working conditions in an understaffed, overworked industry. It helps retain skilled caregivers and improve quality of care, and it gives unions and workers greater collective power. Now, the overall impact of these accomplishments is Governor Walz's accomplishments aim to improve quality life for working class citizens in Minnesota, strengthen education and health systems, support labor rights, support economic fairness, and protect the environment and protect future generations. Now, let's also go through a breakdown of his healthcare accomplishments. Now, here's a detailed breakdown of Governor Walz's major healthcare accomplishments, what they mean, and their benefits. Number 1, mental health infrastructure boost. What it means. In 2022, he signed a budget dedicating roughly $92 million to mental health, including $60 million for new hospital beds, crisis professionals, and mobile crisis units, plus $30 million for mental health services in the criminal justice system. The benefits includes it reduces wait times and eases strain on hospitals and jails. It improves access to crisis support across communities. It enhances care for individuals with serious mental health conditions. Number 2, psychedelic medicine task force. What it means is he established a task force to explore legalization and therapeutic use of psychedelics for PTSD and similar conditions. Benefits include opens path for innovative treatments in mental health care. Could improve outcomes for veterans and others with treatment-resistant PTSD. It positions Minnesota as a leader in mental health reform. Number 3, prescription drug and insulin affordability. He enacted the Alec Smith Insulin Affordability Act in 2010 in his first term to make insulin cheaper for diabetics. Broader effects include caps on insulin prices and reducing prescription drug costs for seniors and middle-class families. The benefits are it eases the financial burden for diabetics relying on insulin and potentially saving hundreds annually. It lowers healthcare costs for Medicare recipients and families across income levels. Number 4, expanded healthcare access and COVID-19 response. What it means, he spearheaded Minnesota's pandemic response. Lockdowns, mask mandates, widespread vaccination campaigns, mobile and mass testing and incentives. Supported unemployment aid, small business grants, and eviction protections during COVID. The benefits are it saved lives, it curbed virus spread, it enhanced access to vaccines, and treatments statewide. It offered economic relief alongside health interventions. Number 5. Let me see how many are there. There's 6 of them. Number 5. What it means. Reproductive health and gender affirming care. He enshrined abortion rights and reproductive freedom into state law, Pro Act 2023, including shielding out-of-state patients and providers. Protected gender affirming care by banning conversion therapy and passing the trans refuge law in April of 2023. Okay, this one is again not one of my favorites, but this is for those out there who are, with that thing. Passed a law providing free menstrual products in public schools. We're going to get to more of that in a minute. Matter of fact, let me just comment on it now because I know this is where some right-wingers or conservatives are watching this and saying, see, but the thing in the tampons in the boys' bathrooms, first of all, there was no evidence whatsoever to suggest that there were tampons in the boys' bathrooms. It was in the girls' bathrooms. And, this, to sidetrack a point a little bit, this kind of reminds me of, I remember the race for governor in Oregon in 2022, and I can't think of the lady the name of the lady who's the Republican who ran that race. I think it was Christine something, and she was the one who, I don't know if she started this or if she was the one who just continued to put emphasis on it, but she was one of the leading voices in talking about how there were litter boxes in the bathrooms in elementary schools, and how she was saying, well, this is because Democrats were putting ideas in kids' heads and saying that it's okay to think that you're a cat or a dog or a hamster or a mouse or whatever. And most people with common sense were looking at that saying, okay, well, if there were litter boxes in public bathrooms in schools, where's the evidence? Because you got to remember, we live in the time of social media. This is the social media age. Everybody lives on the internet. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. So if something like that really was taking place, why haven't I seen any pictures of it on the internet? Wouldn't somebody pull out their phone and do a video or a picture or whatever and say, see, look how ridiculous this is. This is because of Democrats. And a lot of people just simply weren't buying it. I know some people were buying it, mostly far-right groups, and so I say the same thing here. People talk about tampons in boys' bathrooms. Well, show me. Take a picture of it. And when I say show me and take a picture of it, that doesn't mean take a tampon out the girl's bathroom and place it in the boy's bathroom and say, see, this is what Tim Walz did. Where's the actual evidence that he did that? And by the way, even if that was the case and I would criticize it, that's not enough, sadly, to override all the things that I just listed above. So again, not enough. And like I said, this whole section is really not my favorite anyway, but I'm just giving you the truth here. The benefits are it safeguards autonomy and broad access to reproductive health care, even for out-of-state residents. It ensures safe, affirming care for transgender youth amid national backlash. It addresses poverty, allowing students to attend school without barriers. And number 6, he strengthened public health protection. What it means. He also raised the tobacco purchasing age to 21. He banned handheld cell phone use while driving, which Governor Whitmer did that here in Michigan too, so that's not a bad thing. Enacted strong public health safety laws, including protections for safe driving and reduced tobacco use. The benefits are it reduces motor vehicle accidents, at least it should, and it decreases youth smoking rates, boosting long-term community health. The overview of his healthcare wins: mental health, medication costs, reproductive rights, COVID-19, public health. There's the Insulin Act, prescription caps, all that stuff. Now, why it matters: these initiatives reflect a comprehensive approach to health, tackling mental wellness, affordability, reproductive freedom, and public safety. The results: the citizens of Minnesota enjoy broader access to care, fewer financial barriers, and improved outcomes across communities. And then there's another one I'd like to cover right here. And I said, his accomplishments regarding veterans. Now, here's one thing that he did. Expansion of veterans' homes and support facilities. Now, how many do we have here? 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's 6 of them there too. So I'll try to shorten this. What this means. In 2022, he signed a major Veterans and Military Affairs bill that dedicated $47 million to establish and operate 3 new veteran homes in Preston, Montevideo, And Bemidji, Bemidji, Bemidji sounds like it sounds more right, but I could be wrong. I don't live there, and I've never heard anybody mention it, so I don't know. Forgive me if I butchered that. Additionally, upgrades were made to existing state veterans' homes in Hastings and other locations as part of larger infrastructure investments. Three benefits of that are improved long-term care and residential options tailored to aging veterans, local access reduces travel burdens for families, creates healthcare job opportunities in those communities. Number two, health and fitness support for National Guard members. What it means is that the same bill allocated $1.5 million to fund health and fitness programs for Minnesota National Guard members. The benefits are it promotes physical well-being and readiness. It has measurable impact on reducing substance abuse and suicide risk, and it encourages positive mental health outcomes within Guard communities. Number three, mental health and suicide prevention legislation. As a U.S. representative, he was lead House sponsor of the Clay Hunt Suicide Prediction for American Veterans Act of 2015, which mandates, now to be fair, this was when he was a congressman. This was before he was governor. He was a congressman from 2006 to 2018, which mandates the Veterans Affairs to expand mental health services and incentivize psychiatrists to work within the VA system. The benefits include it strengthens VA mental health infrastructure. It encourages recruitment and retention of mental health professionals in the Veterans Affairs. It enhances veteran access to suicide prevention resources, potentially saving lives. Number four, leadership in Veterans Affairs across offices. What it means is that he served on the Veterans Affairs Committee, rising to become its top Democrat ranking member in the 115th Congress. As governor, he also co-chairs the Council of Governors, advising federal leadership on Guard operations. The benefits of this are enabling Minnesota veterans to have a strong advocate in shaping federal VA policy and bringing state-level coordination on Guard readiness, deployment support, and benefits. Number five, ongoing fund increases for veterans and Guard. In early 2025, Governor Walz proposed an additional $50 million increase in the state budget for veterans and military affairs. The benefits are providing funding continuity for expanding veterans services and home facilities and signaling sustained commitment to veterans' well-being and recognition. And number six, infrastructure support and broader bills. Major infrastructure packages passed under Governor Walz included substantial upgrades to veterans' homes as part of a statewide capital improvements. The benefits are ensuring veterans' living environments are up to date, safe, and modern, and supporting construction jobs and community economic growth. So why this matters? Governor Walz's track record shows long-term commitment from his veteran service background to legislative and budget priorities. His policies deliver concrete support for aging veterans through homes and local care, preventative and ongoing mental health support addressing one of the most urgent threats, enhanced Guard readiness and overall wellness, and sustained state investment in modernization of veterans infrastructure. Now, I know this is the part where right-wingers and conservatives will sit here and say, oh, but he lied about his military record, which, again, another thing that is not evidential, more theoretical, if anything, and even that, to me, is kind of a weak case. But I also say this, and I think there's a lot of people in Minnesota who would agree to this, is that even if there was somehow something that came out that proved that he lied about his military record, as far as when he served or what his ranking was or how long he was out there or whatever the case might be, even if that was proven, I would criticize it. But if I was living in Minnesota and I know that all those policies that I read, if they affected me that positively, or at least most of them, I could say, you know what? Okay, I don't like the fact that he did that, but he gave free food to starving kids. He extended my vacation time, my paid vacation days at work, or he extended my paid sick days at work, or, I make under $80K a year, so I can afford to go to community college. And it's like, that's not enough to override those things. And this is what Democrats need to be emphasizing. This is what Tim Walz needs to be emphasizing. This is what Kamala Harris should have emphasized during the campaign. This is what, again, CNN and MSNBC are such failures, and they suck at this point. Of course, they'll never mention those things. What was the other thing I was going to say? Top Democrats, the Obamas, the Clintons, the Pelosi's, the Schumers, the Bernies, all those people, they should be emphasizing this type of stuff right here. And all Democrats need to be jumping on board with these policies And any Democrat who's in any state, especially a governor, if you haven't done these things, do those things. If you have a Democratic state house and state senate. If it's all Republican, then of course expect it to go nowhere. But to anybody who's a Democratic state representative, a Democratic state senator, a Democratic congressperson, a Democratic U.S. senator, Democratic governor, or Democrat anything, jump on board with those policies and do your best to fight to get those policies. And whether or not they're successful, again, the fact that you put effort in it and you move towards it and you were fighting for it, that means something to the citizens who care about those things. And so this is what Democrats have to focus on. And that's why I said, me personally, I don't know for sure that he's going to run in 2028. But as of right now, out of the potential choices, he's my favorite. Just by a little bit. He's number one for me. Close second, number two would be Gavin Newsom. And then the rest of them, I'd have to take time to kind of rank them in order to see who I like, best going from top to bottom. You know what I'm saying. So those are Tim Walz's accomplishments as governor. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I may have already done another video where I talked about his accomplishments as congressman. I have to double check that. But if you're watching this on Facebook, the link to my YouTube is in my About section. And in the comment section, go to my About section and see the links to my Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, TikTok. So give me a subscription. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of the year. Right now I'm at 427. So help me out here. Give me support, and I'll continue doing my best to give you the good stuff. So that's it for now. Stay tuned.